It has been nearly a week since Uber drivers from across the nation called on the company to provide better pay and some benefits. Now, a lawyer from the Federal Labor Board says Uber drivers or gig workers should be classified as contractors. This is the second federal agency to side with the ride-sharing company.
The National Labor Relations Board says drivers work with, quote, entrepreneurial freedom consistent with independent contractor status. This means drivers have the ability to control their cars, their schedules, as well as login locations, and therefore should not be afforded the same opportunities as full-time employees.
This issue is more about the gig economy than it is Uber specifically. Correct. Joining us now, Recode Executive Director and co-founder, our friend Kara Swisher. Kara, what are your thoughts on this, the new memo by the Federal Labor Board?
Well, I mean, this has been keeping with the idea that Uber and other companies in the gig economy want, that these are independent contractors. They sometimes call them entrepreneurs. They call them different things. They just don't want to call them employees. I mean, it's good news for Uber and many others who work in this, who have this kind of workforce. But it's really, it sort of jumps the question of what we need to do about what an employee is going into the future, because it has to change given how quickly people switch jobs and how many of these jobs will be like an Uber job in the future.
So, I mean, as Stephanie said, and as you said, this is much bigger than Uber. Mm-hmm. Is there some implication? Have we thought through what gig workers look like in the future? Because again, for most people, healthcare is the biggest issue, but overtime, certain protections. What's the best thinking you've come across as to how we're supposed to think about this for the future?
Well, nobody's thought of it, and that's the problem, is we've got to really rethink what an employee is going forward. You know, Gavin Newsom and the governor of California have talked about it, but nobody's really putting proposals out that are really significant from a political point of view of how we redefine workers in the modern age. And I think we're going to have to, as I said, as more and more people, I think millennials are going to shift jobs a dozen times. What happens to their health benefits? What happens to the ability to organize? What happens to all these other things? And the question is, you can't just have contractors everywhere, like that. They're seeing problems of that at Facebook and Google. You know, you see it a lot in the tech economy because they're relying on contract workers. And so when you have that, you have the possibility of a lot of abuse, a lot of not earning enough, not having the right, a lot of things. And so what an employee is has to be redefined for the modern age. And that's going to be a difficult political issue for sure.
It certainly is. Kara, thank you so much always for your insights. It's complicated.
It really is, but we've got to think about it.
One of the upsides to being a contractor, to being a driver, is you want that flexibility.
Yep.
So you want the flexibility, but then you want the structured support on the other side.
Correct.
It's complicated. It's a new world.
Hey, MSNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there and click on any of the videos here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up now.